We were both doing the same exact thing. Totally unplanned, and we were both doing it. I'm like this, and you were like this.
I need to breathe. Like, dude, and great topic tonight too, because I'm fucking
No, you're fine. You're fine. Hey, I did a whole wrong show yesterday with the Let's Talk Live logo in the back, and the whole time, like at the very end of it, I'm like,
free advertising.
Oh, okay. Well, I forgot to take that down, but that's okay. So come over to this show. We like you.
What up, my dude? Primo in the house, brother. What's up?
Good to see you.
Yeah, happy Easter, man. Happy Easter.
Yeah, good Lord, it's Easter. Wow. You know what? I'm happy that we're having an Easter show.
Yes.
That's
Did you get any candy today? Did you eat lots of candy?
Yeah. I got a big Reese's egg, and it's gonna take me a while to get to that.
Don't worry. The 3 or 4 people that felt that go ahead, go away. It's fine. It's okay. This is what I'm getting irritated about. This fucking show.
Yeah.
Used to get 40 people watching a night. 40 fucking people watching a night. Okay. Now I can barely get 3 on here to watch.
Yep.
So what happened?
Easter.
Who went behind my back and did a big conspiracy and told them not to watch the show anymore?
Wasn't me. I just did the one vote down that you said to do every week to.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That's not
the
me.
guys watching, just downvote and get it out of the way. It's fine.
Right. That's fine.
Sorry, I had to let a little of that out. I'm irritated lately, man. Right. I'm really, really irritated. And I've been watching and listening and watching a lot of other channels and a lot of the things they're talking about. And I find it very, very interestingly
resonating with the theme of what we've endured. I guess is the word. Yep.
I'm sorry that we're saying happy thoughts Easter and then I lose it and I swear and I'm sorry.
No, that's
probably going to get me demonetized on this. And then I'll have to fight it and I lose my clicks and views and all that.
Mm-hmm. The preemptives. We try. Dude, it used to be, I loved, like, when I first started my car thing and I was doing these videos and I'm like, there's no way that I can have my stuff be demonetized by saying something. And I said one thing about electric cars. I said one thing about doing shows in whatever. Oh yeah, they hated it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't get it. So
I'm curious. Yeah. And I appreciate everybody hanging out. I appreciate this. You know, the 4 that are watching right now. But I'm just curious with the other 34, the other 40, the other 50 that used to watch. Where is everybody? Why doesn't anybody come here anymore?
Easter.
I don't
They went to Easter. You sure?
I think there's a lot more to it.
There's some good ham out there, but yeah. No, I kind of think that you're right. And I'm kind of like,
yeah,
consistency is key. I'm just going to put it like
that. Yeah. Hey, I got a chat. Look at this. Sun Turtle Camper. Hello from Denmark. Well, hello from America. I hope that you had a wonderful day. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, everybody around the world basically celebrates Easter. But if you did, then happy Easter or whatever holiday you celebrate today.
I couldn't believe I went out and there was like all the different stores were open. I actually went out and got a coffee, and then I found out, I did not know this, the 2 official holidays, I guess, that people have to take off are Thanksgiving and Christmas. I thought it was July 4th, but I guess you can actually be open that day too.
You can legally be open on Thanksgiving as well. I think there's like some states that it's blue law or whatever they call it. But basically, all of that has gone away. I mean, I remember back in Sundays when we never did open, and then we went to like 12 to 5, and then they stretched it to like, I think 9 to 5, and now it's whatever it is now. I had to work today. I worked from 12 to 6 today. I was not able to be with my family. I was not able to talk to any of my friends. I had to work. It sucks. It sucks.
Oh, 2:20 a.m. in Denmark, man. You
a.m.
I used to have, so we used to play, I ran a Grand Theft Auto racing division. So it was an online thing. We had anywhere from 9 people to like about 20 people that would race. And I had all the guys from England that would come over, and we were like, what time is it over there? And the guy's like, we're racing at 3 a.m. and we're recording this thing for later out. It was the funniest thing ever. I was like, I cannot believe you guys do this stuff. And they're like, we get used to it because it's on all the time. So But yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of that stuff that's happened late at night because you're dealing with, different time zones if you're doing that with different people. And I used to be involved in a lot of that stuff too. And just depends on what part of the world you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
Topic of this evening is
pure insanity 2.0.
Yeah. Are we losing? Is society losing it? And it's, do you think I think so. The last 2 years have ultimately changed the way people think and act with this whole being locked down. I mean, do you think that obviously this had an effect on society and the way that people think and act?
Right.
So it was kind of stupid that I kind of answered my own question.
I don't think you did, though. I think it goes deeper than that. I mean, that's the thing that really freaks me out right now. We had Randy Tillum of Savage Garage died the other day. I've never had so many friends and stuff in the last couple of days or last couple of months. It has just been really weird. And supposedly everything's getting better, but supposedly everything's getting worse. Now, usually, like, I remember when we had like 9/11 and 01, and I remember somebody saying, like, did anything change? And I was like, no, nothing's changed. It's the same world it's always been. There really isn't anything different. And then we come into this last stuff that we're doing, and I've never seen such just the way everything was handled. It was utter chaos, and people were talking about the division that people really do have. They really are split down these different lines.
I think
it's prolific now.
I think 9/11 actually brought people together.
Yeah,
I think it really did in a tragic but very tragic but very spirited way, I guess. That American spirit, be together, open up, help each other, and I think just
American flags up and down the street.
Yeah, I think we lost that somewhere in COVID. And it's just the way that people act. I mean, the other day we had this New York subway shooter. Yeah. And it's like, why? Like, what fueled him to do that?
And he says, well, I know what fueled him. Well, at least what he wrote in his posts and what he put over his thing. But the thing is there's a deeper thinking that goes with that. That's not just because you don't get like that overnight. Something drives you. There's disconnection, there's separation, there's turning things into them, not that person. Or in other words, instead of knowing you as Brian and Primo, it's those YouTube guys. And suddenly there's a world full of YouTube people that suddenly we get lumped into this whole vat of people. And it's the same thing as say, like, if you say rich person, people immediately have these visualizations of what a person is. And that's the problem is our perception is so off and wrong on everything that we do. We don't realize how much of that thinking is literally manipulated by an algorithm, and we live in echo chambers.
And that's
go ahead.
I just think that's what's getting really scary with this connection to the internet, how we get closer and closer and closer to this digital age where algorithms now are basically controlling our life. Yeah. And it's funny. I just watched literally a 9-minute clip on my favorite podcast of all time, besides Let's Talk Live, Joe Rogan. They had a guest on they were talking about the other day and how algorithms now are literally controlling people's lives.
Yes.
And this is the thing that's getting me more, I think I'm getting more frightened about, is that we're connecting more to our digital devices, but now it's allowing to control us more and more and more. And the thing that scares me is when we get to the point, that's why I think Neuralink is a little bit scary. When we actually start plugging in like the Matrix, like this shit's coming true. It's crazy. Like when we start plugging in like the Matrix, what's going to ultimately really happen to us? Is our our brains are going to be could be manipulated or programmed, or it's scary stuff.
But this is what gets me is people come up to me and they say, I have this opinion, And I go, okay, so what's your opinion? And you know what? Because the thing is most of the things I've done some very out there things. One of them being the 9/11 video, that the reconstruction that we made. And the reason we did all that research was kind of like I was kind of involved in that, thinking of it being a conspiracy. So I said, I want to do the research. I don't want to ask questions anymore. And the reason is because nobody really was doing the research that they said they were doing. Right. So I did all the research. I said, you know what? We finally got a thing. We're going to put the stamp in it, and we put it out there. And when we did, come to find out, we didn't work in some people's vernacular, if we will. Right. It kind of proved things certain one way or the other. Well, the problem was that the people that basically we proved wrong didn't want to believe it. So I asked people, hey, what do you think about a certain topic? It's the same thing. It taught me. What is it? What do you feel about this, and this? Everybody that argues with you uses talking points that they've heard from one type of media or one type of website or one type of YouTube channel that they constantly look at over and over again. So what's where the confusion here is, people are telling me I have my own thinking process, and I go, really? Is it your thinking process or the one that you've been listening to that's been feeding you one type of information over and over again? In reality, what you think is independent thought is only the information that you've been fed, and it's always been one side or the other, and it's always anecdotal, extreme, all this other stuff. And it doesn't, once you've gotten sucked into it, you don't care who you crush or walk over or lose as a friend to be able to exonerate that thinking. And that, I think, is the true sadness, because that's the cult. That's where it's become a cult. And it's how do you get out of it once you're in that circle?
Yeah, and I mean, this ultimately
pop-ups today towards a more sustainable.
Well, it's ultimately like this whole thing that you're watching with the battle and the war going on with Twitter. Elon Musk steps in, he buys, the most major shares of Twitter, becomes the highest shareholder in Twitter. Then someone comes back over the top and buys shares because they get crazed about not being able to control Twitter and control your thoughts and your ideas and the censorship out of Twitter, where Musk wants to open this up and let it be free speech, where it should be. And he said, that's, and he had a great idea. He said, everybody should get a blue check mark, and giving everybody a blue check mark, they get verified. So they're not a bot, because now, and it's funny, I want to play this clip that I heard on Joe Rogan the other day of bot, literally in Reddit. This is how crazy these algorithms are now. There are bots, and you can follow the stream. I guess there's one of those streams that you can follow in and read the links. There's bots having conversations with each other.
Right. Yeah.
And there's so many of these bots on Twitter that are controlling the narrative that's going on in life. And that's why, all these people, these shareholders or media outsourcers or whatever that have their stake vested in Twitter, they're so afraid to have this come in and basically change what's been going on.
Can you imagine your whole entire life? Let's say you get some information online, and there's times when you get information, it's wrong, so you listen to it. But that's the thing is what if you got your information, the information clicked in your brain, you assigned yourself to it, you identified with it, and then come to find out 3 years down the road, after you've been on this trail, that a robot was the one that came up with that, and it's completely wrong. How do you deal with that in your head? Do you justify it, or do you go, oh, wow, that was wrong the whole time? Most people, scary enough, justify it and then double down. Well, it can't be a robot. It had to be real.
Right. Laura is saying, as humans, we're able to adapt society / will change, but ultimately be fine, in your opinion. Really? Do you think so? I mean, look at society over just since the boom of the internet, especially over the last 10 years. We haven't had as many, mass shootings or war in other countries or suicides or bullying. Or do you really think that this whole online connecting is really a smart thing to do? Instagram, another thing that can be a fake outlet. YouTube. I
Yep.
can be any person I want to be on YouTube. I mean, I am who I am, but I'm saying you can be anybody you want on YouTube. Do you think that some of these YouTubers that have 1 million subscribers are really who they are in real life
Mhm.
as they are in front of the camera? I don't think so.
And this is the thing is there's a lot of psychologists right now, and not to say that they're wrong because they have a lot of more historical information that they're working off of, continue to tell me it's all going to blow over. It's just, you know, it's not as bad as you think it is. But then I think about somebody that's been fueled by an abstract over and over and over again, that now the people that created that abstract doesn't work anymore, and now they go out on a New York City subway and start shooting at people, and that is just insane. Like that's that the what that I don't think that what he believed in was what he believed in. I think somebody put it there. That's it. I mean, not saying that from the fact it was like a CIA operative or any of that kind of stuff. I'm just saying if you go online and listen in an echo chamber all along, you will continue to get negative information on negative information until
Yeah,
you think the
it's
world
completely negative.
is bad,
Yeah,
and then you react. So
100%.
yeah.
You know, I even watch it on some of these channels, some of the channels
Mhm.
that I be used to be, on and associated with, and I listen to the shit. It's like everybody has to come out and ultimately, this is what people want. They want to watch you fucking bury someone on your channel to get ratings. And there's a guy right now, and I'm not going to mention his channel, that's literally burying one of the watch people that are in this space, burying him 24-hour live streams, 8-hour, 12-hour live streams, burying this person, digging stuff up about his past, his whatever. And people are fucking sick enough to watch this,
Yep.
300 people a day, and send this guy money for burying someone.
They feed off of it.
It's fucking sick, man.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's literally sick. So Laura's saying Elon Musk is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm wondering why you would say that. So if you could follow up that.
I've always been torn on Elon. Like I really like I see him neutrally, and I don't tend to look at these people that are I want to say, how is it, the cult of personality, I guess is the word that you use for it. So you have these people that people look at them and treat them like royalty, and then you want to take a side. You want to say this person is good or this person is bad, and I really don't like. I Actions speak louder than words, but everybody has a bad day. Somebody can do the right thing
I'm
over and
having a
over again,
bad
and
day
then
today.
yes, you are right. But at some point, do all the right things, and then suddenly do something wrong. All of us are fallible. So yeah, but that's the thing is never. I never assign malice when stupidity it can be an option. That's
And
how I
believe
think
me,
about
I have shit that I could say. I have shit that I literally could blow up and blow this channel up and
it. Right.
say a bunch of shit about a bunch of people and this and that and fucking play it for the ratings but that's
Right.
not my intention. That's not who I am, and
Mm-hmm.
I would never do that. I don't do shitty things to get ratings. And it's fucking strange, man.
Right.
And then I think it's just really strange that people will sit through these streams for 3 hours and listen to someone lambaste someone and fucking send these people money that are doing it.
Right.
That's a sick society we live in, man.
Yeah.
It's really sick.
Can we ever have people that I guess the word is can we be indifferent? I mean, like everybody's looking at somebody like we're passing judgment on Will Smith. We're passing judgment on Robert De Niro. We're passing judgment on all these different people. We don't know these people. We don't know them from a hole in the wall. In fact, every character you know of Will Smith is a character in a movie. It's not real. It's a fantasy.
Yeah.
And yet we're sitting here thinking, hey, Elon Musk is a good guy or a bad guy. We don't know. I'm glad that he takes good, positive actions from time to time. But I mean, yeah, a lot of people it's always that line, never meet your heroes, because it's a bad
You get
scene.
disappointed.
And it's 100% truth. So,
I tend to think that Elon tries to do everything in the greater good. I mean, he's done some pretty cool shit for space, getting us up to space and reusable rockets and fucking rockets that can land, and Tesla and building tunnels under he dug a ditch and turned it into a big mile-long tunnel I think that, I try to tend to think that it's out of the greater good. So.
yeah. Well, there's a couple of leaders in, let's see, what is it? Korea and Stalin and Mao and all those guys, they had some real good intentions too. So, and look how that worked out. So,
Sunternal Campus says, I have cookies turned off on my browsers, reset when it closes, and my YouTube is not set to personalize. We'll say having YouTube personalized turn off, or wires with Mr. B's Guns Wire stuff.
I got to say something to that. I got to tell you, I have all my stuff.
There's any way to get away from it, man.
I turn all my stuff off, and my stuff all the time gives me. It's so cool to have it send me stuff that's like out there in left field. And that's the thing is they will still YouTube to this day, Facebook, all these different things go in and go. You need to turn your personalizations on to make sure that we send you the right content and the right commercials. And I'm like, no, like, I just want to see you guys scramble.
Nice. RG, $5 super chat says, happy Easter to you and your family. Yes, thank you so much, Ari, and happy. Oh no, wait, wouldn't be Easter. Passover.
Yeah, Passover. There you go.
To you, Ari. Ari, if you want to jump on really quick, it'd be really nice for you to jump on sometime and just say hi. I miss you like hell, and you are my voice of reason sometimes. I know we haven't had a conversation in a while, but I definitely would like to do that again sometime. And maybe have you over here and we'll talk watches. So thank you so much, Ari, for the $5 super chat. I hope that you and your family got some rest on this day and got to spend time with each other, because I did not. I had to work. But you probably had. He always has to work too. Ari works a lot.
He does.
Ari's such a nice guy.
That's good, though.
He's a great guy.
Even if you work, you're still a good guy.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So Laura's just saying she doesn't trust Elon. Let's see, Ari, really quick. Says, Brian, I'd love to. I can't hop on right now, but wanted to lend my support and listen to you in the background. Thank you so much, Ari. We got to have you over here for a watch show again sometime, man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of weird, funky stuff, I guess, happened. But anyway, I digress. I digress. Sun Turtle Campus says, one day I would like to talk to Elon Musk, and I'd be proud of having him help me. I would be proud having him help make a company. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
That was they were testing the Tesla Roadster, and this was back in like 2010 up in New Hampshire. And this was like,
you went up to that, didn't you?
Yeah, it was during its infancy, and I thought for sure, and that was back when nobody even cared who Elon was, and I thought for sure, remember asking like, hey, you know what, I wonder if he's going to be around, and they were thinking that he might, and then there was a couple of high level dudes there that were very cool, and they talked about it. But that's the thing is even back then they didn't really talk much about business. They were very directed at their product. So I think that's kind of the secret of making that great product is laser focus on what you're doing. And I think it's cool because we're trying to get I'm trying to get a power wall in my mom's house right now. So let's hope all that works out.
That's awesome. RG says, I don't mind talking other stuff. I would love for you to come on and share your opinion, Ari, because I know it's great. So I love Ari a lot. I really do, because I tend to lean a little right. Ari tends to lean a little left. But the great thing is that we can have like the best conversations, and it's like we see each other's sides and we don't like freak out about it. And I love that when you just have open, and I've learned so much listening to him and having conversations with him. So yeah, maybe we can do a later show sometime and have you over, or I'd love for you to pop on. And
by the way, I'm seeing a lot of those things on right now. And I got to say, when it comes to, because I don't do much with politics with my stuff, especially when I deal with cars, I try to stay away from it unless it's, removing a front plate or something like that. That's different. But, that was the thing is there's a lot of stuff right now. It's getting popularized with the idea of having rational civil discussion and finding how much common ground you can have. So I'm hoping that's going to be the next big thing. Cause that's the thing is everything was separation before. Now we're starting to see people pull themselves back together and realize, maybe we're not as different as we think we are. So
by the way, Ari, shalom. Thank you, brother. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Laura says, happy Easter. Happy Easter to you, Laura. Thank you for joining the chat this evening in the show and hanging out. RG giving the thumbs up. Yeah, man. I'd love to have you over again sometime. The floor is always open to you, man. Always open. So anybody's always welcome on the show. Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to play through a little. I thought this was crazy. Joe had one of his guests on the other day, Deacon Trussell, which is does I think a podcast, or is like one of the biggest, besides Joe, has like a really big podcast too. And they do these kind of like conspiracy theory shows, and it's pretty cool. And they dress up like they put like cloaks on and like have candles lit, and Joe will wear like a big witch wig, and they'll just talk about all the crazy shit that's going on. But this, I wanted to play this, and I thought maybe we could play through and hear some of the talking points here. And we'll check this out. Yeah,
this is my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I love this stuff.
I love this stuff.
All right, let's check this out. Duncan Trussell.
Yes, it's so funny to imagine.
You hear it?
Look at that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Letting me advertise for them. And something in that makes me feel gleeful when I'm doing it. And it's cool that most of them are cool with it.
Well, the way you're doing it is so fun.
This is hilarious.
Joe with the wig on.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Isn't this delicious?
Look at him with hair. He looks like he should be a member of like Van Halen or Bon Jovi.
Like Musk, he's finally doing the thing. If I were a billionaire, for sure, it's like, oh, I'll just buy Twitter. Can I buy Twitter? Let's see what happens. He doesn't care.
I think he does care.
Real quick, I do want to address this. Laura said, I just think the internet brought Ari and you together. It's not bad at all. I 1000% agree. I met some really great people over this last summer that were on my channel a lot. And, everybody's kind of doing their different things right now. And, I hope that all of our spaces and come together again sometimes, because some things tend to get pulled apart and they come back around, and hopefully someday. But I do have to recognize that. And yes, I did meet Ari through YouTube, and it's been a fantastic friendship and relationship thus far. So I really enjoy talking to him. And we adapt. Laura's saying we adapt. It doesn't happen overnight. The evolution of new society takes time. It does. And I do agree with that. But it's scary. I think everything's coming at us at about 1,000,000 miles an hour, and we can't sit back and process a lot of this information because it goes so fast and it comes at us so fast. And you have to start thinking to yourself, what is triggering? Like I pulled up that article, I don't want to say his name, but the scumbag that shot up all those people in New York the other day. Right. What is triggering all this? Is it lockdowns? Is it the internet? And I do think it has to have some effect on you.
Well, it's indoctrination. I'm going to say that, and maybe that's a little bit off left field, and somebody's going to tell me I am conspiracy theory for thinking it, but there is so much stuff that happens online that is made to feed the side of your brain that gets afraid. And that's the thing is we were, they were talking about this a while back about how they were saying the biggest threat to America was this indoctrination. And they were like, a lot of it is happening online. It used to be you'd have to go someplace to get indoctrinated. Now you don't go anywhere. Those guys, if you have some sort of feeling of angst or whatever, those negative feelings can be used almost like Star Wars and fuel that anger. And that anger becomes hate, and then hate becomes action. And now you have a problem. Most people just kind of look at it and they kind of scoff it off, hopefully. But that's the thing is like you were saying, it affects everybody no matter what. If it's kind of that, if you dance with the devil, you don't change the devil changes you. And I think that no matter what we do, something changes us. Yeah, but
Lord, change is always scary. Amen. And it's getting really scary.
But some change you should be afraid of. In other words, I understand that change is scary. The idea of being able to change, what we don't realize is a lot of the things we do in our lives are because we haven't learned from past history. And some of that change isn't change. It's actually falling backwards. And that change we should be afraid of. If you go back to believing some stuff that we shouldn't be believing in, or you start taking risk, or the idea that you feel that, the depression, all these social anxiety things that we deal with right now, like it's something like 60% of kids or something like that are on antidepressants. Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, that right there is not a change I want to learn. And we have to find a way out of it. Like if suicide is on the rise, that's not change we want. We have to find a way to fight that change. So I'm all for good change, but there is such a thing as bad change too.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, let's play through this here.
Get it?
You think he cares?
Yeah,
I can't tell.
No, he does genuinely.
Here's
He's concerned about censorship.
Freedom of speech.
Yes, he's very.
But how
he
do you
said
know
freedom
that,
of speech
Joe?
is someone you don't
Well, he
like.
talked to him.
Excuse me, freedom
Had
of
him on the
speech is
show.
someone
It
you
doesn't
don't like
matter.
saying something. You don't
Sociopaths
wanna
do that
hear.
all the time.
He goes, they have to have that right. It's
Yeah.
like it's essential to a democracy.
Yeah.
And
Now, and I
most
agree with
people
that, but
objectively agree. The problem is he gets scared because they see how
I just can't get past
like
the wig.
mobs
Yeah.
of
It's
people
hilarious.
can move in a very
Hey, what
negative
song do you want to
direction,
play when you see
right? I
it?
think people there's a real
I hope it's a
concern.
good one,
Like, I am
you know?
in no
Jump.
way supporting censorship, clearly, right? Absolutely the opposite.
Heaven's on
But
fire.
I
don't know.
understand why
No, that's
people are
Kiss.
concerned about large groups of people being really shitty
He's not
and-
Van
Oh,
Halen.
right.
and getting on the social media platforms that they've done this campaign over the last few years to like silence certain voices, stop aggressive people, stop people who are being shitty to people. And
Yeah.
isn't some of that is good, right?
Sure.
Like stop doxing,
Yeah.
stop people who are threatening people, stop people who are harassing
Yeah.
people. But it's like, where does it end? And how do you
Right.
know? You don't.
Control
that's where
is still
where it's
control.
fucking weird. Because if you just let wild free speech, like there's going to be there's a bunch of people on like 4chan.
Yeah, he's
and
right
those kind
here.
of places,
Yeah.
Right,
and they're saying
exactly.
stuff just for fun
Right.
because nobody knows who they are, and they can just
Right.
say it, and they don't
Mhm.
fucking mean it.
Yeah.
They're saying it because it's a crazy thing to say. If you're at
The
work in a
trolls
job you
in the
hate,
world.
sitting in your cubicle, and you decide to make a frog with a Nazi outfit on, and it
Yep.
doesn't mean you're a real Nazi, and it doesn't mean
Isn't
you,
the
you
word
hate
ed-
anyone.
it's edgelording.
Edgelording.
It's an
Yeah.
edgelord.
Those
The
people
louder you are, the
are-
more attention you get.
they're
Yep.
confined to small corners of the internet
Yeah.
right now. And
Mhm.
if you just let them loose,
Oh
if you
God.
let the
Right.
frog people loose,
Yeah.
like you remember the frog people during the Trump campaign?
Pepe Le,
Yeah.
Pepe
of
Le
They
course.
Frog.
took over the frog. The
Mhm.
frog guy, the guy
And
who
I
made
had
the
him on my
frog was so
podcast. I
sad.
had him on my
And what
podcast.
people
He's very
realize
cool.
is that
What
stuff
he
takes
said.
off, and you think that it
Just
won't.
what you're.
but it
What
will.
the fuck? The frog was never a Nazi. The frog was like funny and sweet.
Was he upset they took his frog?
Yeah, it was.
The Pepe
You,
stuff.
I think would be a little bit like the first person who had the Hitler mustache.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, imagine. And then Hitler sees it and he's like, God, that's fucking cool. I'm going to start having a
Ugh.
mustache like that. And you're like, no,
Yeah.
it's like that. But also, you know, I don't know how many people know that like they discovered an Egyptian god. And again, this could all be trolling. Kek, the god of chaos, who happens to be a frog. So
Yes.
so within that, whatever that was, an actual like chaos magic was being, they were calling it meme magic or whatever, but they were all,
Was
they
this
were
down right here?
like
He's a
actively
podcast.
doing chaos magic, and a lot of their rituals seem to have worked to some degree. So yeah, I know what you mean. Like the question, like the question.
Laura's saying weak minds have always been easily indoctrinated. Thankfully, they are the minority. Critical thinking has always overcome and will again.
Has
Are you
it
sure
been?
about that?
That's one I'm gonna have to.
I have to
really-
contest
I
against
would-
that.
I
Go
would
ahead.
like to, because the thing is that let's look at the history of what we've had in the world, and
Let's
the
go
thing.
20 years.
Yeah, you can go 20.
But I'm
50,
just saying,
30,
a majority of a lot of this stuff. Well, I can't even say the majority. No, let's. I mean, yeah, you're right. Go ahead. I hear your point.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, look, think about it like this: news media outlets. The stuff that we heard, everybody thinks that everything was so much different in the 80s. Everything was so much different in the 70s. No, know what you know now and go back and watch that stuff. And you'll go like, wait a minute. There isn't any difference with these guys. They were doing the same sort of manipulation that they were doing back then that they're doing today. And everybody is buying into it. Now, thankfully, we are becoming a little bit more critical thinking. But I'll give it. Here's a perfect example. And Laura, if you want to sound off on this, you can. How many people out there actually vote on a political figure based on the history the political figure has?
Right.
And I bet you money, a lot of you guys that voted on stuff do not know the voting history of the people that you vote on. I've been the only one that looked at it. I remember having this big debate. We came on, they were like, who are we supposed to have in the primary for I was like the governor run that we were having or something like that. And I said, the person that represents you would be this person. And the reason is because their voting record. Let me just say that guy never was heard of. They never even knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all based on the idea of indoctrination, and how is it? What is it? The mob mentality. We do things as mob mentality, and it's why we've taken some of the greatest leaders ever and just said we've killed tons of people in their history and their lives and everything because of a belief system that didn't exist and had no proof behind it. And we're still doing it today. We're trying to censor people and tell them they can't say certain words or use pronouns or do all this other stuff. And there's little or no science behind it whatsoever. I wish we were critical thinking, but I just took a college course the other day and was listening to the person that ran the college course, and there's no critical thinking in it. The person that ran that course has never had history in what they were doing. They have no experience, and it was very evident. And I looked at and I said, everybody who was taking this class is definitely lesser for having taken it. And that is a huge failure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how do you think that most of these people get to power? It's all what they speak or their speech or their ideas and their impressions on people. And some of it's been for a lot of good things and some of it's been very, very bad.
Right.
And yeah, it's crazy. So I don't know. Weak minds have always been easily. No, I think some very strong-minded people have too.
There's a lot of college professors out there right now. The majority, I'm going to throw on a wing on that. The majority of college professors
100%.
out there are believing believing in things that are literally weak-minded, in concepts that have constantly failed, and they assign their thinking to them. I saw a kid the other day that won a huge scholarship thing. Yes, I would like to imagine there is no religion, and it's called utter chaos because it's what we had back in Greek and other times. You just go back far enough where you have people where you don't work on your morality, or you don't have people only work on their lives because they're afraid of death. That's my belief on that. Maybe that's a little nihilistic, but that's the thing is I think the only reason that people work on their soul is because there's the potential that there might be a heaven. And
interesting, we're having this conversation on Easter.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but I mean, and I don't want to. I'm probably not even going to go there because I don't want to offend anybody today.
No, that's fine.
Just go back and look at war.
Yeah.
What has a lot of it been started over?
Right.
And that's all.
I know what exactly. You know what it is? Power. Everything that's been done in your life has nothing to do with anything but human interaction. If you blame it on anything else, you're making a mistake, because that's like saying, you know what? I had a bad day today because I had a stubbed toe. No, you chose to have a bad day today, because think of all the good things that's happened in your life and you chose to focus on the bad. And that's the problem a lot of times in our world is we'd rather listen to somebody on TikTok screaming about all the problems that we identify with than we would to look at a business person and say, what could we do today to work and succeed? That's critical thinking, isn't it? But do you see any good stories on the news? Did you turn up the news and it go, by the way, today 85,000 people became millionaires? There's a whole generation of people out there that are getting rich,
or
because they did the right thing and gave somebody
a man saved 15 people from a burning building today.
Right.
No, you would hear the story. 15 people died in a burning building today.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Because that's what
sells.
Yeah.
Right. And goes back to my earlier point of these, YouTube channels that, like, literally there's one right now. All this person does is lambast this other guy and digs up stuff about his past and brings up his criminal records.
We need Ari on here.
Getting subscribers from it. What's that? It's Ari.
We need Ari in here.
It's all Ari's fault.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
and people pay money to watch this, and it's sick. I think it's just really strange.
Yeah.
It's like
that's the thing,
it's like Thunderdome. It's like fucking Mad Max Thunderdome.
If you want to know the problem, it's not politics, it's not religion. If you want to look at it and you say it that way, then everything that you have right now is created by human beings. So you know what the problem is. Make better choices. We know this is my problem. We know what to do and we choose not to do it. So
So Laura say, with or without religion, good people can behave well and bad people can do evil. But for good people to do evil, that takes religion.
No, I would say anytime anybody looks at, I mean, let me put it like this. And I looked at it and I learned it kind of from the Soviet thinking. The old Soviet system looked over and said, it's really easy. All you have to do is give up all your morality and you can have a good job. You have to say, I don't believe in anything else but that moment wherever. And if you live in a system, this is my problem. If you live in a system of poverty and the idea of the system is to keep you down, the second the system gives you a way out, you take it. Everybody has a price. See, we live in America, so we have choices, and we know we can say, you know what, I don't need that money, so I'm going to make the better decision and do it. There are other people out there that will simply make a decision and say, you know what, I'm going to do, like he was saying here, somebody drew Pepe the pig and made him out to be bad. Why? Because they chose to. Because it gave them attention. Maybe it got them power. Maybe it got them money. Whatever it was, it didn't need a reason. It just needed that person to make the decision, and or a system that put them in the place where they said, hey, you know what? You got a choice today. You can do this bad thing or you can starve to death. And suddenly bad people are those people really bad because they made their decision based on the survival? So those guys living, like the guys that crashed their Brazilian jet or whatever, remember that? And they ended up having to eat some of their friends. Are those guys bad? I mean, that was considered like evil. There was,
that was the guys up in the Andes.
Right.
They crashed. Yeah. Right. It was in the 70s. It was a rugby team.
Right.
And they crashed and they had to literally eat their friends to stay alive because they had no food.
So what
there was a lot of
morality,
going into that.
Right.
And the
so
whole thing of eating people to survive.
What if you're in that system and then you said suddenly, like, okay, I got a choice. I can either live or I can die.
Right.
But if I live, I got to make a bad choice. And the thing, and I say something, this is probably one of the most shatter-minded things that I ever say on this channel. And I hope it's not freaking people out to hear it. But I read a book one time in the Soviet War, and I forgot where it was at, but there was a mother that had her child, and the German troops were coming in, and her baby wouldn't stop crying, and she actually suffocated her own baby to save everybody in the room. Is she a bad person? This is the human condition. Now you want to look at it and say, make good choices. What do you say to this lady? There is no answer for that. There is no point when I look over and say morality had the answer, politics had the answer. All that stuff, religion definitely didn't play a key role in that decision. It was a moment of survival, and they made a choice, live or die. And that's what your choices come down to. So you say, we look over at this thing and say, what's wrong with our world? Are things getting worse? And I'll tell you, one of the things that's happening right now is we're taking very, very petty little BS things and blaming them where we could just easily take responsibility. You know what? I got an idea. It's easier to blame climate change right now than it is to realize that our house is not in order, because we can fight that battle and we'll never have to take responsibility for our own lives. So, and I'm okay with doing the right things in your life. There's a lot of right things you could do, but we're not willing to do that. We're only willing to do the things that the politicians feed us and all these people feed in the news.
And that's what I'm saying. I think we're just getting way too connected in, and it's kind of scary. It's scary. By the way, it snowed where I work. It snowed today.
Snowed here, yes.
We had squalls today. I'm like, what is going on? Wait, I thought the planet was heating up. Isn't it supposed to be heating up? We're supposed
to be, yeah. No, the problem was that was that warm front coming in, pushing the cold front down.
Right.
In reality, you learned a long lesson. But anyway,
right,
no, I mean, am I crazy? Do I go off in left field or what? Like,
no, I think it's completely rational. I think you have some great talking points, and I think we're just we're getting way too connected too quick. And the thing that's really scaring me now too is they're talking about, all these big powers that control they're going to control this world and make it this one unit world. They're now starting to talk about digital currency that we won't have. And this is the whole thing about digital currency. This is a test.
Well, I
And
thought
they're going to control us. I'm telling you. Once they get access to our bank, you're fucked. And they even do social credit scores over in China right now.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that worried me is that I thought everybody was like, well, you will own nothing. You will rent everything. I really thought that was a conspiracy theory. And then I saw this big meeting and there's the video and they're talking about it. And they said, you will own nothing. You will rent everything and you will be happy. And I'm like, now I was hearing Elizabeth Warren saying that this place that's buying up all the property should be bankruptcy proof to protect them. I'm like, now you have the government backing these guys up. I'm like, that's scary. Like these guys now, they don't have a bottom end. They just take all the money from the money that we're spending in taxes and use it to buy up property from actual people that are trying to buy houses. What happens when there's nothing left? And the only thing we have left is to rent. And people are complaining right now, we can't afford rent. We can't. Why would you let them do this stuff? Stop. That's the other thing. Like you want to say, stop voting them into power. And I'm like, I can't,
People are always just going to vote for a D or they're always going to vote for an R.
Right. Mm-hmm.
These people, they get into this whole cycle. Like, I don't know why it changes. Why, their talking points are different this year. They're going to change. No, you're doing the same thing for 40, 50 years over and over and over again. Believe me, these people are not going to change.
No, it is not. Okay. And I'll say this, it is not in the best interest of the government to fix your problems.
Right.
Because if they do, you won't need them anymore.
Right. Let's play this.
Yeah.
In a world where we don't even know how many of these people are human.
Yes, this is
who are writing shit on Twitter or wherever.
Right.
Look at what GPT, what is it, 3 or 2? The AI that like completely imitates human beings. Like, have you ever gone to
explain how that works?
So it's a neural network that can be programmed to different personalities that can imitate human speech well enough that they can leave messages, and you don't know for sure if it's a human or not.
Wow.
So if you go on Reddit, there's a subreddit which is crazy. The AI bots arguing with each other on the Reddit. And like once I left that up, and I remember I was just reading it thinking I was on the front page of Reddit and getting really engaged in the arguments these bots were having with each other. It's that convincing. So the freedom of speech thing runs into, okay, of course, it's like a no-brainer humanist ideal. Humans should be able to say whatever they want. This is like the most important way that we must have some kind of debate or discourse where one person is allowed to be a complete asshole.
Right.
And not because we want assholes, but because hopefully in the discussion, some bit of truth will sink down into their consciousness and they will grow as a person. I think that's what the roots of.
That's the hope.
That's the hope. But what if the person is a robot, is an AI device that is being made to have certain personalities that represent demographics that you're trying to manipulate as a corporation or a state or whatever? At that point, is it freedom of speech? Are bots allowed to have freedom of speech? This is the one of the things Musk was saying he might do with Twitter, which I think is brilliant. Anyone can get the stupid blue check mark. You pay for it and you have to verify yourself so that like we know you're a real person.
Right.
Meaning that it would be too expensive for the bot swarms to function. It would go from being like, if you have a blue check mark, whatever, you're something or whatever, to if you don't have a blue check mark, you're probably a bot. Yeah. And so then we eliminate all the AI, all the fucking state-sponsored shills, all the people who've spent years and years and years building these fake identities online. Like they're like farming personalities. Because, in the old days, somebody tweets some shit and you're like, what the fuck is that? And you go and look at their account and it's like 3 days old. Mm-hmm. So it has less credibility. But they've been growing these personalities for years. So you go and look at their tweets and it kind of looks like a person mixed in with their interminable tweets about some political issue. Like only an insane person every 3 minutes tweeting something, or like went to the pool with dairy today. You know what I mean? And some weird distant picture of a pool. So it kind of seems like a real person. Anyway, the point is the freedom of speech issue is right now we're running into the problem of brand new technologies that aren't even human, that are being designed to influence public discourse in a way that's going to push the needle towards whatever it is, whatever your laws, your corporation wants, whatever the state wants.
Go ahead.
I think it's funny because when we had their databases back in the 80s, back before the internet. So what you did is you call these up, you'd have to call them up, connect to them. And then it was one computer that you could play like, text games and stuff like that on. It was real fun to do. But we found it funny because back then people would you'd call up a database and then you could hit a button to say, call the administrator in to talk to you on the phone or talk to you on the thing. And a lot of times you message it. And if the guy wasn't there or nobody responded to that administrator call, then you could hack it because you knew the person wasn't sitting there.
Yeah.
So one day my friend said, you know what, that's it. The people that tried to hack it, they'd fail, but we knew sooner or later they were going to get it. So he bought this program. And so you got on the database and we tested it and it responded. It would have good conversations. There was certain things that would kind of trip it up.
Right.
But it's so funny to see that technology from the 80s, how far it's come now, to the idea that you can put a bot on Twitter or on whatever, and it will respond and react over time, even posting and arguing with other bots. That's crazy.
Remember all the hacking that used to be on AOL when you were in those like chat rooms, all the hacking that people would do.
I dodged AOL.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy. There was so much hacking going on. At the end of it, people figured everything out. They had hack bots and they were doing mail bots and there was bots that could kick you out of the chat. It's just crazy, man. It was like,
I do remember somebody talking about that.
Yeah.
And then later on, I forgot the one that we went on. It was like Yahoo, or it was like a third party, like
IRC,
chat
IRC
message.
chat.
Yeah, exactly. But that was the thing is we went to one and then we finally found one. I was like, that's it. I want to have something that does all of them. And there was one that had every single one. So even if I wasn't on AOL, it could message me and it pretended that I was on AOL. And that was like the coolest thing ever.
So Laura's saying, not really going out too far on a limb here, but I blame the education, both American and Canadian, for the lack of critical thinking today.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah. That's the thing is we if there's one thing that I could say to anybody out there, it's that knowledge is power. And that's the thing is if you're going to get
power, it was like knowledge
is power. Yeah. G.I. Joe, the more you know, but knowing is half the battle. But yeah, with this stuff right here, especially with you understanding it, it is the more information you have, the more critical thinking you can have. It doesn't hurt to have both knowledge and experience.
Right.
Oh man, I wish I could remember. I had a really good thought there too, but I'll probably come up later. But yeah, it is really.
We know for sure they're being.
Oh, that's what I meant to say too.
Fuck
yeah. Pause. Yeah. See, there you go. We live a lot of times in our lives. I'd say a great deal of what we have in our lives is we don't have answers to anything that we do. A lot of time, most of the stuff that we have, we can't test it. And your mic went off.
It's like, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's like the answer to what is life? What's going to happen after death? Is anything going to happen after death?
Right. So I said, if you're gonna build a good life, it's not about getting the answers. It's about asking the right questions. Because if you ask the wrong question from the very beginning, the rabbit hole that you could end up down may be one you could never dig yourself out of. So be very good at asking the right questions and be very good at choosing your regrets wisely. That's that's really the thing. And my friend goes like, I don't regret any of my decisions. And it's not about regretting decisions because you can make all the right decisions and still choose your regrets wisely.
So Laura's saying, I enjoy Primo's takes, even the ones I don't agree with.
Thank you.
Laura. Appreciate that. All right,
these bot swarms, they found in the Ukraine, they found like one of these like creepy shells of phones. It's just phones.
Oh, I've seen those, but I didn't know they were running an AI. I thought like people were manually typing in messages because I know they were doing that first.
I think both things are happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's a PR firm, basically. You know,
Right.
politicians have publicists too.
Isn't it wild though that that's the best way to defeat America, is to get people separate from each other,
Yeah.
arguing with each other, and lose all faith in the
Yeah.
democratic process.
Yeah, sure.
All
It's
faith in democracy. You lose all faith.
powerful weapon, man. It's like
It's amazing.
we dropped an atom bomb multiple times on cities filled with people. The United States did that. Everyone knows that.
Mhm.
So our karma, we've got some fucked up karma, man. You know what I mean? So like that. So the problem with these atom bombs, biggest problem with the atom bomb is, I mean, aside from the fact that it kills random people and is horrible, it irradiates the ground, the buildings. So there's no plundering to be had. If you traditional war, you plunder, however you want to make it look, you're plundering. If I nuke you, I can no longer plunder. So this is why biological weapons are desirable, because then it burns out the biome in the area. Wait a little bit, and then you can go plunder. But even better than that, get into the fucking minds of the people in the country that you want to invade, and then just change their minds so that the country shifts into what you wanted that country to be. Now you didn't even have to do anything except they're yours.
Yeah,
they're believing in you, and then in that, the country starts falling apart. The CIA, by the way, this is one of the things they do. They go into other countries, they cause like disturbances, and then it collapses. I mean, it's a classic weapon of war. So anyway, obviously we might be, the entire United States and probably other countries might currently be irradiated, not by like obvious radiation, but by bad data created by artificial intelligence bots that have been programmed to swarm social media and give the impression that there was something happening that wasn't even happening at all.
Right. That's just how it works. Like Sun Tzu's, it's like the ancient art of war was you be strong to your weak opponents and look weak to your stronger opponents. Right. There's classic ways of pitting enemies against each other. And the thing is, the British people were in the earlys, like way back, talking about like world wars. They were masters of this intelligence game and how they would feed to different directions. I mean, you look at the whole fights with like, Dunkirk and D-Day and all that stuff. And I mean, they had everything was some sort of manipulation. And they taught all these different courses to it. And now it's just general information about how to use it. And now we have a system out there that, I need to get anything anywhere. I can put it online and make it viral and just spend a little advertising money and, or just get the right team to jump on it and make it a reality. And now you have pure, full blown indoctrination without you barely raising a finger to it. Where's Jinxie?
Do you know kittens are the most interesting animals?
Yes. How is the Jinxie channel doing?
It's great. I have the first video up on, I did kind of a introduction video. I'm hoping to get something done tomorrow. But nice. the reason I think that kittens are interesting, they're like children, because I haven't had a kitten in a long time, because my cat that passed away, I lost him during the summer. I had him for 18 years. So I haven't gone through the kitten phases in 18 years. Right. But they are the most interesting animals, because I've bought this kitten every toy that you could imagine.
They want the box.
They want the wires.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can hear. Can you hear?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's playing with the wires of the computer.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, dude, like literally behind that door, you have a kitten palace.
Right.
That you could be playing in. But
my old cat Gizmo, and it was so funny. If I had him around today, I could not do my show because there's keyboards in front of me.
There he is.
He's gonna want attention. Yeah. It's just it's not gonna work.
Come here, Jinxie.
This is Jinxie bonus channel footage right now in the works. You guys are watching it firsthand.
It makes for great television.
I'm just amazed that you can make there's another one out there that I saw that was a channel of just about different animals and owners.
He doesn't want to come. Oh, comes.
There he comes.
Nope. He's like, screw off. I'm going over
Yeah,
there.
you're on TV.
And then the minute I get off camera, he'll want to jump up on my lap.
Right.
This is usually what happens. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm hoping to film another video tomorrow. I want to kind of get that channel up and going. First video only got like 38 views. But
still, dude, it was so. It was
YouTube.
still. You had such good shots. You posted up. There was another shot where he's like laying on the couch doing. I mean, on the bed, he's doing that. I was just like, this has to take off.
So we'll see. We'll try to get the Jinxie channel going. I'm having a hard enough time trying to get it around. So yeah, it's double channels, but it's going. Oh, by the way, I heard back from that guy Frumus, Jeff Frumus. He's going to join us in May.
Nice.
So we're going to talk some rock and roll and some records and punk rock. And he said he'd come on and talk about anything. And he's an interesting cat. So I'd be really curious to see kind of his musical histories. I'm kind of a punk rock and metal guy. So I think that's going to be a cool show. And working on some other things. It's tough. You know, it's a grind, man. It's a grind. So
well, I'm coming into car show season. So I'm kind of wondering what my that's the thing is it's gonna be. I'm actually getting car shows that are like 8 and 9 at night, and I don't get it. Like I'm like, this night stuff is becoming a new thing. So it's gonna be a really interesting season this year. I'm hoping that I can grab onto some of this and kind of run with it, but we'll see. It's it is what it is, and
going up like car shows at night, physical car shows.
Really? So we're gonna have one. I want to say it's April 30th. We'll go to one show in the morning at 9 in the morning, and our last show will end probably at like 11 at night. So I'm like, I'll have 3 or 4 events in a day, and I haven't done that in a long time. So it's gonna be.
You know what it is? It's because everybody was locked down for the last 2 years. So now everybody wants to get out and just start doing things again.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I hope they're successful. I hope that there's going to be, as little, I guess the word is police presence as possible, because we want to actually have some good positive events this year. And that's the thing is I keep telling people, I'm like, I want to do the stuff like we're doing right now. I want to do them at the shows, but it's very hard to get these people to understand what it's like to have a live person there doing interviews in the middle of the show with the car in the back. And I'm like, you can't put somebody near speakers. So if you get them to sign up, you got to make sure that they're doing it right, so you don't end up with copyright strikes and all this other stuff. And it's like, it is a very interesting balancing act, but I have the hardware now to actually do it. So I'm hoping it works out.
Dude, you know what car I want?
What do you want?
I want one of those Dodge Charger SRTs.
Dodge Charger SRT.
What is it? The wide body Hellcat. Oh man,
that thing is crazy.
I saw one last night. It was one in front of me. I'm like, I'm definitely getting out of European cars, man. These things are animals.
Oh yeah, and for the amount of money one costs, SRT Hellcat 6.2 V8. It's only got 12 miles to the gallon and 20 miles to the highway, but hey, it is what it is. Let's see.
They're like 717 horsepower or whatever.
717 to 797 horsepower. 8-speed automatic, rear-wheel drive. Oh, this curb weight though, 4,586. That's a big,
Silver
heavy beast.
Is saying you don't want to die.
Yeah, there you go. She won't, and that's I've.
Listen, I drive a fucking BMW right now. I don't want a BMW ever again.
Yep.
And it sucks because I'm missing my 1 Series right now because it's convertible. It was 500 and just over 500 horsepower to the wheels. I'm missing that right now, but I will never, ever, ever buy another BMW in my entire life. Never.
And
ever.
She probably won't disagree with you either. We got beat up by him. That's the thing is, I loved my 7 Series, but it tortured me. I think the worst part is that the problem I really had was I took it to the wrong places to work on it. That silver one over or gray in the middle, the left there.
Gray one.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I don't know. I'm turning back into kind of like a traditionalist with the cars, like whatever it looks like out of the factory. I'm tired of lowering shit and all that. All that shit breaks.
What's that Camaro thing? What was the Camaro one? I've seen a couple of people with that one. The fast Camaro, the LE7 or whatever.
You don't want to be.
I don't want BMW either.
People will disagree.
I'm not disagreeing. I think I love the cars, and I still
want
said
one
they
of these,
suck.
dude.
The thing is when you get a call at 3 a.m. that said that the car that you just traded in was found abandoned someplace, you just tell you my choices in vehicles are not perfect. So the Camaro, you gotta look up was it the LE8 or whatever it is? What's
Camaro?
that? Camaro ZL1. There you go. See, try that.
ZL1. I like those. What was it? The new
6
Vets,
point,
the mid-engine.
so this
Vets.
is 6.2 liter V8 with 650 horsepower. Was it 4,000 pound curb weight?
You know what it is?
That white one. Oh, beautiful.
This one?
No, the go down. Yeah, look at that. That's the way from the factory too, and I guess they make even better ones.
I don't like the look of the Camaro.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm just saying for power. If we're looking at power wise,
the SRT.
Yeah, because I'm going back. See, that's the thing is I won't be in one. I love them, but I just.
So Laura's asking, do you have any classic American cars?
I used to. Yeah, I had a '76 Buick Grand Sport. I had a '82, a '92, and a '97 Trans Am like basically the WS6 versions of them. So I'd buy whatever the prize of the highest one was. But I still like that '76 Buick Grand Sport was my way to go. And I think if I get the next car I'll be looking at would be a 1966 Pontiac Grand Prix. I actually found one locally. I don't think I'm going to buy it because they always want all the money for a car that they're like, it needs love. Well, if it needs love, then I'm not paying a premium for it. And right now the prices are just crazy.
You know what?
There's a lot of classic American cars that I just love.
This is what I've always wanted. 77 Buick Skylark.
Wow. I love Buicks. Yeah.
Either the 77 or the 78. And the 77 had more of that. I don't know. It kind of looks more like a Camaro to me. It has a little bit more of that body style, where the 78 was a little bit more, it got a little bit more family looking. Right. But that 77, oh man.
But see, these are the kind of cars right here that are going to fit into a niche that nobody knows about, that you can pick up on the cheap. Then that people still big money. How much?
Oh, let's see.
I compare everything at this point to the Novas because you like people paying $30,000 for like a busted up Nova is like,
yeah, and that's what it is. It's going to be like 30 grand. Let's see. What do we got? It's going to be all in value. Yeah, I mean, I've seen these come up like 30 grand.
Yeah. Well, if it's that high. That's the thing is like I said, there's going to be a car out there that people are not going to realize. I had it. I had an 82 Mercury Monarch, and it was so weird that car you could fit any engine in it. It was a 4-door. It had a very solid body. Oh yeah, the books. Now see that Skylark that you just pulled up, that looks just like my 76 Buick Grand Sport. Same body, and I had a 350 4-barrel in it, and that car I beat to death. Like it really was like beat. And it still had excellent gas mileage for the type of car it was. You just didn't open the 4-barrel and you were fine.
Yeah.
I drove that car back and forth to Virginia. Like it wouldn't die. Overheated it twice, still use the same engine. So
I'm trying to find something really quick that I want to show you. What was that on? Damn it.
If you do that, Google search, do a 1966 Pontiac Grand Prix.
I think my parents had one of those. Or a GTO?
1966 Pontiac Grand Prix. And I would even put you can even put lowered or lowrider or something like that.
Yeah, let me show you that. Oh, this is nice. Wow.
Yeah, that's my kind
big,
of car.
Huh? That's a big car.
All the cars I've loved is like my other beloved car was the 01 Mercedes S600. Just love that car so much. I just couldn't. And the thing is they made the turbo when the turbos were super stupid fast. Would outrun Ferraris with them, and I still like that 0102 setup
That's
better.
nice.
And yeah,
Ooh,
I just love there's the back.
I love the
back,
4 headlights. That's dope.
Yeah. But the one that I have a picture of one. It's sitting on my desk right now, and it's chopped. I think it was 6 inches, 4 to 6 inches.
Ooh,
Oh, 67
nice.
Plymouth Satellite. Oh, good year too.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Super Sleeper Nova on Big Muscle?
No.
Oh, I gotta show you this thing, man. Real quick before we end the show.
Yeah.
Hey,
right?
people are sticking around. We got car talk going on. They're sticking
Right.
around.
Chicago, where we're supposed to be.
Check this out.
Wiesner and his wicked 72 Nova. He told him to meet us here, but for the life of me, I don't know
Dude,
where
this
it
thing
is.
is insane.
So,
look at the
I
end.
don't know,
Watch
Thad,
the
any
end.
ideas? Tommy, anything? I don't know. Oh, wait.
That's hilarious.
But wait till you see the car.
Drew's over there.
Oh, it'll
And
be
I'm probably
plain
gonna get
Jane, too.
demonetized to the fucking music. Hang on.
Yeah, just turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Hell with it.
There
There you
come
go.
on.
Look
Come
at that.
on. Look at this thing.
It's still gonna be music. FBI, that's hilarious.
Wiesner,
All right, here we go.
Northern Chicago, and his wicked 72 Nova. Now, there are certain cars that I want to film. Certain cars that I want
Look
to
at this
how-
thing. It's all beat up. I
plain-
love it.
About your
Plain
car. I think I got
Jane.
3 or 4
That
years ago.
is
It's
that was how
72
mine
Nova.
looked.
Packing a little extra punch
And
under
I
the
loved
hood.
it.
And it's just, it's the definition of the sleeper car, the ultimate definition of the sleeper car.
It's-
why? Give
The
me a reason.
problem
Tell
was
me
that
why
I
this
wouldn't
thing
do
is so
burnouts
badass.
in a nice
not?
car. I had
Well, the
to
guy
need a
that built
beat
the
up
car,
car.
I didn't build the car.
That's
The car
why
was
my
built
car, I
by a
love it.
gentleman named Kurt Urban, which at that time had a shop in the Detroit area called Kurt Urban Performance,
Right.
or Wheel to Wheel. Now
Okay.
he's Kurt Urban Performance. He actually went through and did what we all dream of doing.
Yeah.
Everybody sits around with their buddies and drinks beer and talks about how they would build the ultimate sleeper. This gentleman actually set about doing it.
Yeah, and he actually did it in
White
space.
TC
I mean,
the
so
engine.
what do we got power in this thing?
It's a twin supercharged LS motor with water-to-air intercoolers.
That's
and,
stupid.
makes almost 1,200 horsepower.
For those that don't know, I mean,
Crazy.
it looks when you go to car
Look
shows,
at it. It's
I mean, obviously,
beautiful.
all
Yes,
the
it's
paint,
perfect.
everything is original. Patina's original.
Yeah, you know
What
why?
are people's
you got
first
that
reaction?
plate
They
at
look
the
at the car and go,
front
"Well, why did
for
you put
the
this here?"
things,
Exactly.
right?
And especially at a cruise night,
I
I'll
wish
stand
you
back
said
and
that
watch
too,
people's
yeah.
reactions.
Right.
That's the thing is we
They
regret
walk
all
up on it like,
got
why
rid
is
of
this
and
guy
then
wasting the space?
we go back and get them and we're like, oh, why did I
Why
develop
is the car here? But then when they get a little closer and see the
So he's got
underhood,
those
right,
plates
then
on
their
the front
jaws drop.
Huh?
because it's making those plates on the front.
Yeah.
He's got those on there because it's making so much power.
Yeah.
that it actually will
It would twist the frame.
Yeah, it actually
Yeah.
twists the engine in on itself.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right,
And then as they continue to go around and look at the rest of
Look
the
at that.
car, they
They're
start scratching
thick.
their head in disbelief.
So, what's it like owning a
Two-tone
car
rust.
that runs 9s and a quarter?
9s and a
incinerates
quarter
tires
mile.
out of that big it will, and I mean, because this has got to be like, this is a play toy. This
Oh,
is a toy.
It's a toy. It's a toy.
It's got nitrous
But
too. That's
I
insane.
drive it back and forth to work. I mean, you can do anything you want with this car.
So the next question. So, can we go for a ride?
Watch
Oh,
this thing,
absolutely.
Primo.
Can I drive
This
it?
thing's insane.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Listen to this thing.
Have fun and don't get arrested. That's the words that Drew Diesner said to me as I climbed behind the wheel of his 1972 Nova. Now, have fun and don't get arrested can mean many things. It can mean don't get arrested when you go out drinking. It can mean don't get arrested if you're, I don't know, doing naughty things in the backseat.
That's why I'm like, I just
In
want
this
to
case,
ditch
what it
modern
means
car
is
and get like a classic
Don't get
car.
arrested driving my 1,200 horsepower Nova. On the
Watch
back
this
streets
thing,
of
man. It's
Chicago.
crazy.
This thing.
I'm telling you,
is
notice how
what
he
you would
films
call
this.
a
That's how I want to
sleeper. I
film
would
mine. I
actually call
don't
it a
like
super
doing
sleeper.
just the
Yeah.
in-car
1,200
stuff. I
horsepower,
like how he's
twin
mounted these cameras.
supercharged with the capacity to basically incinerate any set of tires that's put behind it, and any automobile that.
Yeah, they don't, Basil.
This car will run 9-second quarter miles. It's
9-second quarter miles.
It's not a show car. It's got some dings. Got some patina
Beautiful,
on it,
perfect.
and it's freaking real.
Listen
That
to
looks
this
like
thing.
the old Talc.
Listen to this thing.
So,
That's serious.
what's it like to drive a 1,200 horsepower twin supercharged Nova? Pretty freaking cool. As far as the steering is concerned, there's really not much of it. I mean, it's manual steering, and you got to freaking
Look at him muscling that
to
thing.
get this sucker to turn. You also got to realize that under your right foot is a big red button. It's the same button that the guys at the missile silos have. You push that button, man, you better be prepared to hold on, because I'll be honest with you, this thing goes.
Yep, he's
Listen to this thing. Look at it.
Does he even have a lap belt on? Like,
Now, that was like, I don't know, maybe 8 throttle or whatever it is. You also got to realize, like, the steering, this is the steering. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but we're still going straight. And I'm doing this.
he's
I
wiggling
don't
the
know if I
wheel.
want to road race this thing. I think that's a little out of the spectrum of, possibility. But on any other day,
it's amazing you can handle that power.
I totally agree. Yeah.
And the steering's pretty on par with any 72 Nova you're ever going to drive.
The beauty of these old cars is they had the ladder frames, so it really that was why they were good for what they did. Today our cars flex and the unibody structure just. You're right. I don't think those cars will actually twist. These cars just have to reinforce it a little bit. They do.
1,200 horsepower, straight line, 9-second quarter mile, and all the FU it can dish out at any given moment. Unbelievable. Simply unbelievable.
Looking in the trunk, you can see there are 2 tanks. One is filled with race fuel, the other with water for the intercoolers. However, bags of ice have been known to make their way inside on long trips. And of course, great care was taken to make sure the interior was period correct as well, by way of a Mexican throw blanket and genuine
Look at the cage.
Chicago dirt.
He actually, he's like big.
You know, you start looking around and you see how well everything is integrated. The roll cage is fantastic. I mean, it goes right along the
radar
line,
love.
windshield line,
Get that, yeah.
and down the beat pillar. So anybody who's coming up next to you can't tell what this car
I
really
love that.
is.
He hid the cage.
The other thing is,
Yeah,
you look up here, this lever right here, this is a switch for a parachute, just so you know. This guy is following us, and he looks to be an official something or other. So I want to see if he's going to pull us over. He might. This might be Big Muscle's first pullover. I don't know yet. We'll see. It's very possible we might be getting hassled by the man. That's right. Man. Uh-oh. And somebody... Oh, here we go. How are you, sir?
Good. I've seen this one at Mundelein, so I'm like...
Oh, so you're a fan?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're a fan.
It's a car.
All right, so...
Pulled him over to look at the car.
got
That's
pulled
perfect.
over. In a matter of speaking, except guy got out, security uniform, I'll arrest you type hat, and the Glock on his hip. He got out, he looked at the car, started laughing. He goes, this is that Nova I've seen. That crazy Nova. So, did we get pulled over? Yes. But we just got pulled over by the coolest hot rod security guard.
That's awesome.
This car, the great thing about a Nova is that everybody knows a Nova.
Yeah.
If you grew up in the 70s or the 80s, I can almost guarantee either somebody in your family had a Nova, a teacher of yours had a Nova, or maybe you had one.
I want to skip ahead a little bit here.
Back then. Parachute.
I hope those of you out there listening to this right now don't
starting
pull
up,
your
it's like
eardrums.
smoking
I
weed, and then
love
all of a
this,
sudden you're
man.
like, I think I want to go to something heavier. This is like marijuana, cocaine, meth, plus every stripper you've ever met with a cherry on top. Unbelievable.
Oh my god.
So we just rolled into this thing a little bit. We didn't even explore the potential of this thing. And I'll be honest, I'm not going to go fuck wild in a 1,200 horsepower car that's not mine.
But Drew is.
Drew, on the other hand,
Watch this,
said he had
Primo.
no problem
Watch
doing
this.
it for us. In fact, his response when we said, "What can you do with the car?" He said, "I'll do anything you want." That's a big statement for guys like us. Anything we want is a lot of stuff that we want to do. So we're gonna go pick up Drew and see how much he actually scares the crap out of us in this thing.
Primo. Watch this. I love this car. Here you go. Watch this one. I love this car. I'll turn it down a little bit. I love it. Oh, I love it.
Drew, I gotta thank you again.
Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
We started with
How crazy can things get?
Yeah,
Well, that's as crazy
that's
as they
probably
get,
crazy we
right?
can get.
Right.
We'll end
That's good insanity though. I think if the world
Oh,
wants
it's
to get
good.
insane and buy a lot of fast cars and have a lot of fun, you will not ever get an argument from me.
I'm telling you, I'm starting to really like those SRTs, man. I don't
Well,
know. I'm really liking it. I
I'm
want to
sure
get
you'll
out of
be
my
able to pick
car.
one up
I'm
for
getting
cheap.
No, they're not going to be cheap. I know that.
Well, that's the thing is no matter what, those cars are going to get beat on. I think
Yeah.
at this point, people drive their cars today. And that's something that was always exciting for me because there was a time when people would buy these collector things and you'd never see them. They disappear like ZR1s in the 91 or whatever. It was impossible to find any. And because they would go from one place to the other. And now today, if people were like, oh, where do you see a supercar? I was like, yeah, you can find an Aventador, you can find anything out there, and it's going to be almost readily available. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So if you want to look for it.
Yeah, 67 Chevy Nova.
Yep.
Was a beauty. Hey, listen, if everybody likes cars here, I'm going to do a plug right now. Primo does a show on Saturday nights if you guys are around. It's called ECS Magazine.
Yep.
You can look it up. You can just check in the search bar and you can go over and join his live chats. He has lots of locals from the car community in our area, and they talk all about this stuff all the time. So if you really like cars, I'd encourage you to go over, subscribe to that channel, and go over and support him on Saturday nights. What is it, 9 or 8 p.m.?
8 p.m. on Saturdays.
Yeah.
That's my thing is I think it's the bigger plug is going to be coming over. We finally got our stuff set up for our website for Executive Automotive Society. I feature mostly it's going to be a supercar centric kind of thing. But that's the thing is I don't want to rule out the older cars because now that's new, the collector stuff. We had one guy that sold a Datsun on one of our shows for $127,000. So it's one of those things of saying now these older cars are starting to become collectors. Like picking up an Integra Type R for $70,000 to $100,000 is just crazy for me. And I think it's funny because people are like, well, we have supercars. I'm like, you can get a Ferrari for less than what you're going to pay for an Integra Type R collector car. That's crazy. I mean, right now it was so funny. Remember the movie Fast and Furious with the Supra? The Supra is now more expensive than the 348 or 355 that they wanted to represent at the end of the movie there, and ended up being the Ferrari 355. More power, and it's way more expensive. So how crazy with the role reversal when it comes to that. So that's the thing is I want to make sure we feature all those cars and give them their due. You know what I mean? I
just dropped both channel links there. If you guys and ladies would like to go over and subscribe to those channels. And actually you're going to be doing some really cool stuff with 360 on your channel. Right?
Yes. We picked up.
I let the cat out of the bag on that. Okay.
We announced that last week. It actually came out. The first test video was a virtual reality drive on the Hyundai Genesis.
It's cool. You got to go check it out.
And we actually did it with basically like an Oculus helmet. So we went in and actually did it with the Oculus, and it was so freaky to be.
It is freaky. I'm
driving in my own car, looking back, and there I see myself sitting in the thing. And the thing we want to do it with, there's some. I'm not going to announce what cars we have planned for that. But yeah, you're going to want to keep an eye out because we have some stuff that's I want to do cars that are so out in left field that nobody has ever driven. And I look, for instance, like lowriders, crazy custom hot rods, cars like you were saying with 1,000 horsepower, whatever. And that's the thing is some new, like for instance, Ferraris are going to be on the books as soon as they get delivered. And it's going to be quite an experience.
The really cool thing about it, and this is what I really love about it, is I have not seen a channel that's doing 360-degree drives. So you're going to be able to go in and actually look like you're driving these cars, and that's really cool. And that's going to be on Primo's main channel, his Executive Automotive Society. That's the second link that I dropped. go over and subscribe to that channel if you guys are car people, and he would really appreciate the support over there. And I appreciate everything he does over here to help me out on this channel. So if you can give him some love, we really would appreciate it. But I don't know, buddy. What do you think? We're at about an hour and a half.
Yeah, we went way over our quota, but it was worth it.
It's definitely worth it. We started out crazy and we ended on a positive. Oh, we got a question really quick. So Laura's asking, do you ever cover supercars, the supercars of today, Preem?
I actually drive the supercars of today, so I have a lot. Laura, I used to sell Lamborghini, Bentley Rolls, Maserati, Land Rover, Jaguar, and I did a lot with business development. And the thing is I've made a lot of really cool relationships with a lot of friends today that love building twin turbo Lambos and stuff like that. And it gives me an opportunity to drive some of these and share that knowledge with you. There's one thing that we want to do. For instance, I do the 22. I'm one of the organizers for 22 Rally. And one of the ones I want to do this year is actually do the rally with 360 view and be able to put you guys in the seat of a supercar during one of those events that support veterans. So yeah, that's going to be the plan for this year. So I hope, like you said, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'm always looking for input. So yeah, feel free.
And you can go over and follow
Jinx
the Cat YouTube channel.
Yep,
that's my other second channel. We're gonna get Jinxie going.
Jinxie's going full speed now. Look at that. How do you say no to that thing? He's perfect.
I love this guy. You good boy, huh?
Yep.
I love it. Yes, Rich Rebuilds is a cool channel. I love him. Hilarious.
Yep.
Laura said she will subscribe, and she said thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the thanks for the chat tonight. That's awesome. I appreciate everybody in the chat coming.
We did have some really good chats, and I like it because it was the thing is being able to listen to different views of opinions,
in a civil way,
in a civil discourse, and just be able to bang stuff off of each other. And like you said, you don't always get the answer to it, but the thing is if you're asking the right questions, you're going the right way.
So I want to thank everybody this evening for dropping in, chatting, supporting us here. I think we had a great show. I had a lot of fun on the show this evening, and we covered a lot of different topics. Appreciate everybody in the comments this evening for giving us their feedback. It was just a great overall show overall. So Jinxie's playing with his pet mouse, and please go over. Actually, you know what? I'm going to drop the link over there. I'm going to do a cheap plug right now.
Do it. Are you kidding me?
Get over on the Jinxie channel.
Come on. That's the best channel on
the Jinx channel. Sign up, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I got to get some subscribers and get this channel on the algorithm, but that's the Jinx the Cat channel. If you want to go over and subscribe and support, I'm actively going to be doing videos on that channel. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody this evening. We had a lot of fun. We'll be back here on Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, we are trying to get guests on this show. If anybody wants to jump on and be a third member sometime, I'll drop the link. Jump on and hang out with us. But I am actively working on guests. It's tough because the people that I'm reaching out to, they don't know who we are.
Can I just say this, you guys? He sets his sights really, really high, and I appreciate it because the thing is he's actually we've already had some really impressive guests so far, and that's the thing is the quality of the discussions that they've had is just through the roof. So
we've had,
that's
you, buddy.
A lot, well, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I brought one, and you brought one, and so it is what it is. But no, the thing is, I really like it because it's so much fun to have really cool discussions with really cool people and share it with everybody out there. So
it'll get there. Rome wasn't built in overnight, and it's going to take some time. And I realize that, and I appreciate everybody that has stuck around. And you are noted. Basil's a channel member. He's been through the change and stuck around and been very active in the chat, and I do appreciate that.
And just and we'll do it from the
REG.
What is it? For the neural, for those out there that are connected with your Neuralink. Look.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
All right, ladies and germs. We'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna hit the outro. I'm Brian. This is Primo, and over here somewhere in the background is the old Jinxie Cat. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.